Let me introduce you to the darknet. You're very likely to have heard of the term before. A darknet, also known as a dark web, is a general term for any encrypted overlay network that you can only access with specific types of software or authorization or protocols or ports. The term dark is used because it is dark or not visible to those that don't have those special tools, software and access. The conventional internet like Facebook or Amazon, Google would be called the ClearNet or surface web as a reciprocal term. Mostly you can consider the darknet much the same as the surface web, the main difference being you need to use special encryption to access it, which is what keeps it dark. Generally, darknets cannot be searched with tools like Google, but any darknet that is publicly accessible, such as Tor, could be indexed for searching, and projects are underway to do this. The darknets are used by governments, military, companies, and anyone really who needs privacy. Plus criminals, as they obviously value their privacy. Darknets generally are a tool to maintain anonymity and is, in some sense, to maintain security. Example darknets include RetroShare, which is a file sharing peer-to-peer or friend-to-friend network. You have other networks like Tor, which is very common and very popular. You have I2P Anonymous, which is becoming more popular. You have the GNU-net framework and the Freenet project, all needing special software to access, which is available on their corresponding sites. The interfaces to these you can see here on the screen. These services should not be considered a panacea for anybody interested in privacy though, and can be de-anonymized, but that's a whole other course. Through the darknets you can access dark markets and hacker forums. These sell every sort of good and service from assassinations to drugs, and of interest to us is malware, rats, or remote access tools, or remote access trojans, hacking tools, and exploit kits. Here you can see some of the popular markets at the moment: Abraxas, Alphabay, Dream Market. The URL you see ending in .onion is the address to reach that site, which is a special address you can only access via the Tor network. Using the Tor browser is the simplest way to get access to these. Let's have a look around Tor and see what we can find in terms of hacking tools and exploit kit. Here we are in the hidden wiki showing some of the hacker sites. This is the 0-day forum. You can see here selling credit card details, personal information, secure hosting to host malware, exploits. That's the Sphinx banking Trojan. That would be packed into another program you might download. The Trojan is designed specifically to target bank account details. It will target specific banks as well that it has found to have some sort of useful way to harvest and access the user account details. Here, PayPal accounts for sale that will have been stolen from hack machines. Software to help with carding. Carding is another term for stealing or using credit card details. How to transfer money anonymously, hacking tools, exploits. Here, this is the black hole exploit kit. There's the stage fright exploit where you can send picture messages to an Android phone to take it over. Still millions of phones are vulnerable. Let's give you an example of how these exploit kits and hacking tools might work in the real world. So back to our entrepreneur hacker. He's bought himself an exploit kit from one of these sites, or perhaps he's managed to acquire one free somewhere. He has also bought services from a hacker that has given him access to a hacked site. So he can now upload his exploit kit code onto that website. You or I or someone else unknowingly visit this website. If you are up to date with your patches and you have other good security controls, then the exploit won't work, which is a lot of what we're going to go through in this course on how to stop those sorts of things happening. If you are unpatched or you have poor security, or in the worst case scenario, he has a 0-day exploit, then you could be compromised. Again, with correct security practice, you can still be protected against that. If you don't have solid security, the exploit is very likely to get access to your machine. From there, he installs a rat to control what the machine does for him. This you can see here is the admin interface for a rat called Snake Rat, which is popular at the moment. So is, looking for files that's on the victim machine, looking at the desktop, can access the webcam, can steal or harvest passwords, bank account details, personal information, etc. Here you can see other types of goods and services that are available in the dark market. Everything from initial access tools, so the exploit kits that we've talked about, 0-day vulnerabilities, payload parts and features. These are packers, crackers, binders, obfuscators. These are tools used to create malware that the antiviruses cannot pick up. And you've got all sorts of things, botnets for sale, hackers for hire, DDoS services, etc., etc. You can see here that the number of exploit kits are exponentially growing. And here's another interesting list. This shows the cost for exploit kits over the years and how the costs have evolved. Here are some of the prices for 0-day vulnerabilities. Remember, those are the vulnerabilities that don't have any patches and that maybe nobody even knows about. These are extremely deadly, and the cost of these shows you how much people must get from them if they're willing to pay this much. There's even a grey market of countries and governments and companies buying these for all sorts of nefarious reasons. As you can see, because they are buying or downloading free these tools, they don't have to develop them themselves. So the barrier to entry to become a cyber criminal is low. The average intruder knowledge is now low, i.e. they are script kiddies with little skills, versus the now high level of attack sophistication given they have access to such powerful tools. Only a small percentage are elite researchers, exploit developers, 0-day researchers, malware writers, etc. The majority are buyers, unsophisticated and less skilled. So this means you have a lot of people with highly sophisticated tools, and the numbers are only exponentially growing.